My Line, brought to you by Kellogg's. Kellogg's Cereals. The best to you each morning from Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now let's all play What's My Line? And now, live from New York, let's meet our What's My Line panel. First, the delightful star of stage and television, Miss Arlene Francis.
And now a gentleman whose haircut is very short indeed, due to the fact that he's been shaved consistently for his appearance in a new picture, The Seven Faces of Dr. Lau. Here he is, Dr. Lau himself, short of hair, but long on charm, Tony Randall.
And early on entrance. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the first and only lady who has been made an honorary chief of the New York City Fire Department, Dorothy Killgallen.
Thank you. I'm very honored by that, incidentally. That represents 10,000 marvelous men. And now, as an expert, I would like to introduce the hottest publisher in town, Bennett Cerf.
And here is that veritable prince of panel moderators, John Charles Daly.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line. Tony Randall. Nice to see you here with a new crop of hair tonight, I must say. I asked Tony, I must be quite honest with you, before the program when I first saw his new haircut, if when you did this, it grew back everywhere. He said no, so I guess there's no point in my trying it even.
Just the same old places.
Just the same old places. Well, it looks very good. You can join the Marines next week, I think, don't you?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Join the Marines next week.
Oh, I thought you said you'll enjoy the breeze next week.
Well, I hope you enjoy the next half hour. We have some very interesting occupations. We'll also have a famous mystery challenger before my friends on the panel a little bit later in the program, and we'll meet our first challenger after this word. And now to meet our first challenger. Will you come in and sign in, please? Marilyn Levison, is that right? Is it Miss or Mrs. Levison?
Miss.
Mrs. Levison. Where are you from?
Lakewood, California.
And where's Lakewood? What's it?
By Long Beach.
By Long Beach,
Yes.
which is by Los Angeles, is it?
That's
Well,
right.
I've got fairly well located then, Mrs. Levison. May I present our panel? And you see, you have some colleagues from California here tonight, so you should feel fine. You know how we keep score on What's My Line?
Yes, I do.
All righty, we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we can tell you that Mrs. Levison is self-employed and deals in a service, and we'll begin the general questioning with Bennett Cerf.
Mrs. Levison, considering what happened to the Dodgers today, you look pretty cheerful for a Los Angeles girl.
Well, I don't follow baseball that well.
Well, that would explain it. Mrs. Levison, does your activity, does your service bring you into any contact with animals?
Yes.
Are they animals that might that include fish?
No.
No fish. 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
When you appear or perform with what animals there are, do people watch you?
Yes.
Would you call yourself in some way a performer?
Yes.
Might you work with an animal of 4 feet and the size of a horse?
Now, horses can have several sizes, Arlene. Are you speaking now of the full-grown draft horse or the...
You gonna make trouble for me, John?
No. But you're speaking of a standard-sized horse.
I'm speaking of a 4-footed animal that Miss Levinson could either ride upon or alongside of without diminishing the appearance of the other animal.
What?
Right alongside.
Well, I think the best thing to do
Is give me a no.
No, that's 2 down and 8 to go to Tony. You appear or work with a 4-legged animal.
Yes.
And the animal is not equine.
No.
The animal is not a horse.
No. Mm-mm. Yes, it is not a
Yes.
horse, no.
Is it smaller than a horse?
Yes.
Is it a dog?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Chief.
What'd you say? I don't want to disgrace the fire department with my next question. Is this animal... Does it have any horns?
4 down and 6 to go, Mr.
I
Cerf.
did.
Miss Levison, does this animal that you perform with ever appear in rodeos?
Yes.
It could. Now, Bennett, I don't want to mislead you. I think Mrs. Levison is right that it could appear in rodeos, but I don't say that you would...
But it is, may I assume that it is not a member of the cattle family? Is that correct?
No, that's correct.
Yes.
Might it be,
yes,
might it
it
be
is
in
not a
the,
member of
it's
the
not in the cattle family, it's not a horse.
Or
Might it be in the pig family?
No, 5 down.
Pigs, I thought you might capture those greased pigs, you know.
Capture greased pigs.
Very difficult.
No, it's wrong. 5 down and 5 to go, Miss Francis.
Yes.
Careful, careful.
All right. Is it an animal that people watch and are amused by?
Yes.
Is it a member of the ape or monkey family?
No.
Nope. 6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Randall.
Well, let's just try to get its size. It's smaller than a horse. Is it larger than a dog?
Yes.
And it's not a member of the cattle family.
Maybe it's a
And
little
it's not porcine. Is it a sheep of some sort?
No.
That's 7 down and 3 to go, Miss Killgallen.
Is this what we call a domestic animal?
No.
8 down and 2 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Is this an animal that might be found in circus?
Could.
Is it an animal that comes from another continent rather than growing in this vicinity except in zoos?
Yes.
You know? Dear. Is it from, could it be in the antelope or deer family?
No, it has no horns.
No.
Nope.
Well, the deers,
That's
some
8
deers have
Some
no.
deers don't.
No.
9 down and 1 to go, Miss Francis.
Does it have a stripe now and again?
A stripe.
It's not in the tiger family.
No, that's not. It's 10 down and none to go. I'm surprised. This seems to me so relatively easy.
Lion,
Kangaroo.
tiger,
Kangaroo, yes. Sonny Tufts, that's right. And actually, Mrs. Levison is a referee in a kangaroo act. The kangaroo fights her husband, and she referees.
Her husband. That's when it diminishes her size.
It's Sydney the boxing kangaroo. Is that right, Miss Levison? And
Can he beat your husband on?
Oh, certainly.
why do you think he has his wife as a referee and he comes out ahead?
You think of kangaroos really as two-legged animals with short little
Arms.
don't you? They call them legs, those
Yes,
little
they do.
flappers, flippers.
Oh, no,
they
those are arms.
If you ever got plotted with one of those, Bennett, you wouldn't think of it as a little old flapper either. Not you in the middle of next week. Mrs. Levison has been with her husband and Sydney have been going around in the last 6 months with the
The Beverly Hillbillies.
Beverly Hillbillies, going to fairs and
Sydney,
rodeos.
Australia?
Yeah. From Sydney, Australia? Is that where Sydney comes?
Oh, your husband's name is Sydney.
The kangaroo's name is Sydney, Arlene. I get it. Mrs. Edison, thank you very much. We're very confused now. Now, just so that we've got this straightened out, what we were talking about was a pterodactyl from New Zealand, you see.
Oh.
And his name was Herbert.
Does a kangaroo have a pocket, a pouch?
Yes.
He's a marsupial.
Well, do the men
What was
have
that
them?
again? Everybody has a pouch in the kangaroo
only the
family,
girls.
mothers and fathers.
The fellows don't have them.
John, do
The
you
fellows,
know?
I don't. Only Mama has puppies.
John, do you know about the kangaroo that pulled the little baby kangaroo out of its pouch and slapped it in the face and said, "I'll teach you to eat crackers in bed"?
All I say is we're lucky they haven't thrown the switch. Will the next contestant enter and sign in, please?
Paul. Taylor, right, sir? Mr. Taylor, would you tell us where you're from, sir?
I'm from England, in the county called Leicestershire.
And the town?
The town is Loughborough.
Loughborough in Leicestershire in England. It's very nice to have you with us. May I present our panel, Mr. Taylor? Would you join me over here? Coming from Loughborough, do you know how we keep score on What's My Line?
Yes, I've been told.
All righty, fine. In that event, we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, we can tell you that Mr. Taylor is self-employed, deals in a product. And we'll begin the general questioning with Arlene Francis.
Is it a product those of us on the panel might use?
Yes, you could.
Would we use it in the home?
No, I don't think so.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Randall.
We would use it outside the home.
You could?
Is it a manufactured product?
Yes.
Does the product have any parts that were at one time living in the sense of animal or vegetable?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Killgallen.
Mr. Taylor, if I tried to carry this down the street, would it be rather awkward? Would you say that this was bigger than a bread box?
Now, I'm English. What's a bread box?
I think you must give us a dimension, if you will,
It's a
Dorothy.
container for bread in the pantry.
Well, some of it could.
It could be.
Oh, does this product come in various sizes?
Yes.
And colors?
No.
That makes it 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Taylor, is this product of yours used in any way for amusement or entertainment?
Yes.
Is it got any musical connections?
Yes.
And it would be awkward to carry. Is it played by both sexes? Play
Yes.
this? Is it in the, has it got strings?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
I like you, Mr. Taylor. You're right on the button with your answers. If it hasn't got strings, can you blow on it?
5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Randall.
Is this a musical instrument
Yes.
that a performer plays?
Yes.
I would say that it's a product which you would not consider unmusical, and certainly in some of its applications.
I have a question.
Well, but he's speaking of a musical instrument to play, and in some of its applications, you would consider it a musical instrument to play.
Well, since it has no strings and you don't blow on it, then it's not a stringed instrument or a brass or a woodwind. It must be a percussion instrument.
Yes.
Is it a drum of some sort?
No.
That makes it 6 down and 4 to go, Miss Killgallen.
Can you play notes on this? Various notes?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Do you use mallets?
No. Well,
You could in some circumstances. You could, yes.
Well, is it anything like a xylophone, a vibraphone, or a marimba?
No. 7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Can this be operated by machinery as well as by a human being, this instrument?
Well, it can be.
It can be automated, if that's what you mean, Bennett.
That's right.
It could be automated so that it's
It's a percussion instrument. We've eliminated drums of all kinds. That includes kettle drums and brasses. How about cymbals?
No.
No, 8 down and 2 to go, Miss Francis.
Is it an instrument well known to Americans?
Yes.
Is it manipulated with the hands?
Yes.
In a manner of speaking, sometimes it can be automated. In other instances, you would apply the hands in the process of using
Do you
it.
have a second?
You may have 30 seconds for conference.
Is a bag?
Bagpipe you use to blow. That's a bagpipe.
I don't like your
Bell? Is there a ringing sound as a result?
Is there a what?
A ringing.
A ringing
Ping,
sound, yes.
ping, ping, ping.
Yeah.
Ringing.
You're demonstrative.
Would
tonight,
there
Arlene.
be in any way a bell-like tone
Yes.
connected with this instrument? For example, Mr. Taylor, it just seems to me that since we've had our trouble with England many years back and we have our Liberty Bell, I didn't want to bring it up, you know.
I'm going to put these over. Actually, Mr. Taylor is from the Taylor Foundry of Loughborough, which has been in your family 200 years, I believe.
Oh, they make the bells for churches, don't they?
Right.
Yes.
Made the church, the bells for St. Paul's in London.
Yes.
And Mr. Taylor is in the United States to attend at the dedication of the new carillon at the Washington Cathedral next Sunday.
How lovely.
But the firm has been in being since what?
The 14th century,
The
about.
1300.
It's only been in my family for 200 years, though.
You're a Johnny-come-lately.
That's it.
Well, I must say that we had, I think, as good a bit with the bells as we've ever had, and I hope you enjoyed it.
I've enjoyed it very much.
Good. It's nice to have had you with us,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thanks very much for that. We'll meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment, but first here is a word from our sponsor. And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery challenger, for which, as always, my friends on the panel are blindfolded. Are the blindfolds all in place, panel?
Yes, sir.
Good. Will you enter mystery challenger and sign in, please? All right. As you know, panel, in this case, one question at a time, in turn, moving clockwise, and we'll begin with Dorothy Killgallen.
Are you in show business?
Yes, Mr. Cerf.
Are you connected with one of the new television series that are popping out all over the place?
No.
No?
That's 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Are you connected with old television series that have been popping out all over the place?
Yes. Mr. Randall?
Did we go to school together?
I don't think so. That's it. 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Killgallen.
Is your show a panel show?
No. 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Was the show with which you were connected in television in the Western category?
No. 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
Would you be associated with a show based on comedy?
Yes. Mr. Randall?
I'm way up in the air.
I think, just to be fair, with our guest's permission, I will say that the answer to the last question would be yes sometimes and sometimes otherwise. Mr. Randall?
Are you the leading man on this show?
Not really. No, I think in the connotation of leading man as I would expect you to use it, Tony, we would give you a no. 5 down and 5 to go, Miss Killgallen.
Well, is it possible that rather than a situation comedy or drama, that this is a variety show that you have to do with?
No,
No.
really. No, it isn't really a variety show. That's 6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Well, are you at the present time connected with a show that is either on Broadway or is about to come to Broadway?
No. That makes it 7 down and 3 to go, Miss Francis.
Now, let's see. It's not a panel show. It's not a variety show. It's not a situation comedy show. What's it doing on television? Are you a performer on this show yourself?
Yes. Mr. Randall? Is this a show that has a script and production as opposed to any kind of ad-lib show? No. That makes it 8 down and 2 to go, Miss
It's only
Killgallen.
ad-lib?
It's an ad-lib type thing.
Well, is it something like The Tonight Show?
No. No, that's 9 down and 1 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Has it got anything to do with news or commentary?
No, sirree. Not specifically,
Oh.
and that makes it 10 down. Anybody got any ideas now?
I sound like John Amenche.
No, but I'd like to hear his real voice again.
Would you say a sentence just for fun, see if they can recognize it?
What shall I say, Arlene?
Say, smile, you're on. Right?
Well, neighbor, I must say it's nice to see you.
Pleasure.
It's
Smile,
so
you're
easy.
on candid camera. I didn't give you credit all the way, Alan.
Yeah, smile for you. And, we've been neighbors now for a
That's
long
hard.
time. Yeah. They're 10 to 10:30. It's
I
How
don't know
did you
how
get
many
Candid
over
camera?
here?
Arlene, I didn't hear you.
Aren't you on just before we are?
Immediately. That's why you never see it.
I have seen it, though.
Well, certainly not for the last 4 years. You must
In the
be-
last 6 weeks, we saw it,
Oh, okay.
due to you-know-what.
Uh-huh.
Don't look now, it's on tape. No, but, are you live?
No, we taped the show.
What do you
You
mean is he
take-
But,
live?
No.
but we have
I just
been...
wondered how he got here so fast, because he's on just before we are.
That's right. And I have always imagined that this back-to-back arrangement would rarely ever give you a chance to see our show, but it gives me the advantage of seeing yours all the time, anytime.
Well, it's nice to have you say that, and I might say we are not unaware of what a happy position it is for us to be right behind Candid
Yeah.
Camera, Alan. Thanks
Thank
very
you
much.
very much, Mr.
Lovely to
Daly.
have you as a
Pleasure.
guest in What's My Line. I think we must all agree that we've given the panel a bit of trouble so far tonight, but still, panel, you've performed well, and I congratulate you, and we'll be back after this word from our sponsor. And once again, Tony, it's nice to have you here with that brand-new hair comb, and I hope you enjoyed your half hour with us, and good night, Arlene Francis.
Good night, John, and come back to us when you're full grown again, won't you, Tony?
Thank you, Arlene. Good night. Good night, Dorothy.
Good night, Tony. Good night, Bennett.
John, how's it feel to be the second best head of hair among the male people on the
It's not going to ask you.
Second best. Tony's first, I'm second. Where does that leave you? Gee, that's funny. Bennett hasn't usually been that kind this early in the year. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us on What's My Line.
What's My Line is a CBS television network production in association with Mark Goodson and Bill Cotton. Johnny Olson speaking.